Okay, Mark the Stampede here. I'm going to be doing a little bit different tonight. I'm going to be doing a matchup chart for Banjo and Kazooie, which is the character I'm trying to learn how to play as my main. So this isn't, very quickly, this isn't my matchup chart. Well, I mean, this is my match chart. Basically, this is a compilation of the pros matchup charts. Um, and so there's a couple where places on the internet you can get compilations of opinions, and there was one that I was using run by some I can't remember exactly who they are. They do a list of everyone's uh they do they put a bunch of pros opinions together. But Banjo doesn't have enough matchups charts anymore, so it's down to just like one pro based on it falling a lot of them fall be his charts being too old. So I made a new chart. I made my own chart based on the pros opinions that were from after 2019. So there's one chart that was from one pro that was just too old. I think Machu. Um, so using charts linked from Sylvian EUW and also from Bernard's Loop. So and like I said, I'm trying to play Banjo, so I'm going to go over why I think these tiers are like this. Though like I said, I'm not a Banjo expert. I'm just still trying to learn. So first, just Banjo, obviously. Then not enough charts. So this is what kind of worrying in terms of Banjo and Kazooie. There is not enough charts for any of these newer characters because everyone stopped playing Banjo. it's like he didn't last very long. But looking at the the charts for these for Kazuya, Sephiroth, Pyra, Mithra, and Sora, everyone seems to think that they're winning. They beat Banjo pretty handily. So uh, maybe losing matchup for Banjo. Okay, so then the next one gets a little better. So free, so an average of 1.1 or higher in terms of I took every chart. Basically, I took all these pros charts and I took what their point percentage they had of like -1, -2, -0.5, and then if they didn't have one, I based it based on their tier list. They specified the points. I based it based on where the tier there was on their tier list. So free. So these should be easy wins for Banjo, Jigglypuff, Ice Climbers, Kirby, Donkey Kong. They're just all so slow in both in the air and on the ground. They can't really even Banjo is fast enough that they can just stay out of range and just kind of easily win. So not that I say I have lost all these characters as Banjo, but and especially Jigglypuff and Kirby are also very floaty and hard for them to really do much that Banjo can't easily punish, even with his aerials, which aren't great. Um, and then I don't know about Ice Climbers. I think these are older charts. I think Ice Climbers might not be considered free anymore, especially after the way Big D played solo Ice Climbers at was that not Defend the North? I hear the last major before get on my level. So I think maybe Ice Climbers isn't so free anymore, but I'm saying 1.1 or higher. Okay, so winning matchups. So all these are all matchups that Banjo is has a clear advantage. Ganondorf, Little Mac, Luigi, Me Gunner, King Day to Day, Simon Richter, and Piranha Plant. Again, these are for the most part slower characters. Little Mac is fast on the ground but slow in the air. Uh, Air characters that Banjo can stay out of range and use projectiles for. Still uses projectiles to attack. Though in terms of Simon Richter, yes, they do have enough projectiles they can mess up Banjo's game plan. That's true. But they are slower and they have a terrible recovery. So in theory, Banjo should be able to, as long as Banjo can get them off stage, he can win. Uh, though obviously, for pretty much anything that Banjo is winning, even he has to stay out of range. Okay, so up a tempo. So slight advantage for these ones. Ridley, Incineroar, Byleth, Dr. Mario, Meta Knight, King K. Rool, Captain Falcon, Mewtwo, Mii Sword Fighter, Bowser, Bayonetta, Corrin, uh, Toon Link, Baby Bowser or Bowser Jr., and Cloud. I think the reason why King Day to Day is down farther than King K. Rool is King K. Rool has a better. I mean, King Day to Day can inhale Banjo's projectiles, but as but King K. Rool can actually just do his counter and get stronger off of them. So I think that's a better. I think, and people think that it's a better way. Even though King K. Rool, King Day to Day can actually just throw him back at him. So I mean, I guess it just depends. King K. I got washed by a good King K. Rool not too long ago as Banjo, but I mean he has more projectiles than King Day to Day. So it's just interesting. And these other ones, again, all of these are pretty slow. Not in every case, but slower characters, but not quite as slow as these ones up here. And we're starting to get some projectiles as well. And then let's talk about the slower characters first. We'll talk about the faster characters. So Dr. Mario is an interesting one because it you really have to stay out of range because every aerial Dr. Mario has is going to beat any of Banjo's aerials, I guess, except for back air, which is invincible because of the invincibility on that one. So uh, he does have a very poor recovery, but it's very hard to. You can't be in range of any of these characters. Again, you still can't just be in range of really these characters. You get hard punished. Um, but so it is a little bit easier for these characters to close the gap. Um, just because of their move sets, but easier to close the gap than these characters. But as long as still Banjo can stay out of range, you can still win. For these faster characters like Mii Sword Fighter, very kind of linear. Bayonetta, Toon Link, and Baby Bowser, even though they are pretty fast, I mean Toon Link's just not very powerful. And so it'd be hard for it takes a while for him to get a kill on Banjo as a heavyweight character. And then Baby Bowser does have some more powerful smash attacks. I'm not actually sure why Baby Bowser Jr. is there. I feel like and Bowser Jr. has his own projectiles, but I'm not sure on that matchup. In terms of Cloud and Corrin, Cloud Cloud's I mean this is off getting to drawish. Like I put these all in order as well, so these are the farthest up a tempo at the beginning, and then getting closer to drawish than these last ones here. Um, I and then so it's just kind of funny. For Bayonetta, she's very fast, and can pretty easily combo Banjo. I want, but I guess it's hard for her to get a kill on him still because of the weight. I'm not positive. If maybe we consider Bayonetta being a winning matchup for Bayonetta at this point. Maybe the meta's changed a little bit. Um, for Corrin, they have a counter, yes, that can counter Banjo's projectiles. They have their own projectiles. It's not great. And they're just overall, just their counter slow, their projectiles kind of slow. Uh, they have decent recovery. It's just like all around, nothing is gonna really They don't really have things that are gonna outclass Banjo. And then Cloud again getting towards Drawlish. Uh, a sword character, yes, a pretty big sword, but slower than other sword characters. Um, I don't know, but like pretty much all these characters, especially online, could still beat Banjo, but like offline, I mean these ones could beat Banjo, but it'd be offline if unless the player is much better than you should beat these characters, or just bad, unless you're really bad at the matchup. Like I'm very bad at Jigglypuff, which is why it's good that it's Banjo's best matchup. I'm just bad at that matchup in general. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I wonder this is the Banjo players matchup. I wonder if the Cloud players think that Cloud beats Banjo. Well, I guess we can. I don't. It's a good question because I don't see how. I mean, Banjo can use projectiles, and like I guess Cloud isn't quite fast enough to really rush down and punish it. He doesn't really have it. He doesn't have projectiles to punish. So, but let's take a quick peek here. It looks like. Oh yeah, the Cloud players believe that they beat Banjo. So I don't know. It's not exact. Like I said, it's a combination of matchup charts, and none of them are very new, to be honest with you, because no one plays Banjo anymore. Uh, okay, and then the drawish. So these are either plus zero point 0.2 to or between plus zero point 0.2 and two and negative zero point 0.2, and there's also some actually dead evens ones. So Diddy Kong, Me Fighter, Me Brawler, Sheik, Lucario, Ryu, Terry, Ike, Young Link, Steve, Pitt, Lucas, Samus, Ness, Duck Hunt, Wario, Link, Rob, Robin, Zelda, Marth, Mario, Mega Man, Wii Fit Trainer, Pichu, and Ken. Okay, so I think like I also like, so we just talk about the faster characters first. So like the faster characters here that are drawish. So like in terms of obviously Diddy Kong, Sheik, are and Pichu are all going to just be much faster than Banjo. There's not much. Hey, how's it going? Not much they could do. I mean, but they're much faster, but uh, they're also weaker. So I think Banjo's weight helps it to keep these drawish, these faster characters. Um, I'm not sure. I feel like all the fighting characters, like Ken, Ryu, and Steve, I feel like their meta's gone up a lot lately. So I think that maybe at this point it's no longer drawish, but maybe now the fighting game characters are good enough that they would be considered winning. But I'm not positive. I think because they are technically slower than Banjo, so maybe. I mean, I'm with you in that if you know how to play Steve or Kazuya, they're easily the best players and they're easily the best character in the game. If somebody knows how to play them, there's nothing you can really do about it, right? But that's a lot of work to be a very good Steve or a very good Kazuya. I mean, that's a lot of tech that I definitely don't have the. I definitely don't. Definitely don't have the talent to do. That's all right. I know what you meant. Uh, so yeah, I mean, and I think Terry has a lot of potential too, in terms of being one of the best players. I'm trying to main Banjo. I've been learning him the past few months. But this isn't my opinion, really. I took a bunch of old charts. I mean, they're old, not old. I tried to take ones from 2020 and newer, not when they first came out. Oh, cool, Lucario, that's interesting. Yeah, I think that would one that be considered drawish, even. Um, in a lot of these ones, like I think Lucario and Ness and Lucas and Duck Hunt is just nothing in either way, in either terms of Banjo or the other, or that those characters. There's nothing that really tips one way or the other, right? I don't like Ness and Lucas both have good projectiles. Yeah. Ness and Lucas both have projectiles, but so does Banjo, and it's not like and like they're both kind of they're and all three like Ness and Lucas and Banjo can all get comboed pretty hard. Um, but and then I don't know, like Ness and Lucas are faster overall, but Banjo could pretty easily just punish the recoveries. Yeah, between Lucario and Banjo, that'd be a lot of camping, though. You could do a lot of like the the up B to kind of like get right in Banjo's face. I feel like Lucario would be a lot more trying to do hit and run on Banjo, and Banjo would be trying to you try to just stay farther away from Lucario, right? You don't want to be in their face and get punished with a force palm or something like that. Um, and then like the same thing for like some of the ones that are promote projectile characters like Robin and Samus. They're like decent projectiles, but I don't think they're about similar to the same projectile game of Banjo. And I don't think either of them really tip over in terms the of who would win. And Mega Man, same thing with Mega Man and Wii Fit Trainer. Um, I think that the problem with like something like Pichu, the speed is so much faster, and there's like so many potential combos. But I think that since Pichu is so light and like I think side B kills at like 30% against Pichu, that alone makes it a drawish sort of matchup. I don't know about the young Link in the Link. I feel like that's more of a losing matchup for Banjo because the speed of especially young Link and the way that they're able to combo against the just the uh, and also having projectiles that can control neutral. Like Banjo can control neutral, but it's like he can't get out as many projectiles as quickly as Link. So um, and then I think Duck Hunt is also tricky similarly in terms of projectiles, more even. It's a lot of yeah, there's a lot of pressure with young Link or like a really good Link, but like technically, if you're a really good Banjo, they should also be feeling the same sort of pressure. But I just don't even think you're a really good Banjo. I don't think you can get the pressure out as fast. And like Duck Hunt, Duck Hunt and Robin, a lot of same projectiles, but I think that there's are in terms of Robin has all the management you have to do, and then Duck Hunt's like it's a lot of setup, and I and it's like even though there's more setups you can do with Duck Hunt probably, but I think the setups are a little bit easier with Banjo. I mean, the easier I don't know how to describe it. The more common setups are easier with Banjo, even if the the more complicated ones are that are less common aren't. Um, so I'm not sure why Marth is here. I think Marth is pretty decent. I think people just always downgrade Marth in terms of sword characters. Uh, I don't think he's that much worse than Lucine. Like everyone, like I think he's not that bad. And then Ike is just he's decent speed. He's heavy, but he's very linear. I think it's easy enough for Banjo to get his neutral game out against. Is what I would think. Also, I'm not sure about Pit. I mean, Pitkin has a lot of Pit can really if you're playing a good Pit, it feels like he could rush you down against Banjo, even though he's not that much faster. But then he has a counter, and he can counter and you reflect your projectiles. So I feel like that's more of a losing matchup, but I'm not positive there. Uh, maybe the range of his actual uh, normal attacks is why it's less. Corrin, that's a good question. I think I talked about that a little bit. It's a winning matchup because in the earlier one, it's a winning matchup because just in terms of even though Corrin has projectiles and has a projectile and has a counter, they're come out much slower, and I don't think that they can really like against Banjo. I think Banjo can get their projectiles out fast enough that Corrin can't really do as much against them. I mean, and and everything else is decent about them. They have pretty good aerials, right? And they have good recovery, but just in general, what they would try to do what would they try to play? The counterplay against Banjo would just be a little bit too slow, I think. Uh, and then I guess the other ones we didn't really talk about in the evenish one is like Zelda, which I feel like online it's clearly a win for Zelda because because of her stupid counter and because the her down B night guy works a lot better online. Cause it's much harder for it to avoid that kind of stuff online. But offline, probably more even. Uh, can't be spamming the counter as much. It's much easier to avoid the down B Knight guy. So, but I don't know. I think maybe Zelda's more. If you played a good Zelda, probably more. I think that would probably feel like a losing. Okay, going to like let's go to like down a tempo here. So these are the ones that are you're not losing all the way, but you're definitely starting to lose. So Rosalina, Chrom, Snake, Sonic, Shulk, Yoshi, Pokemon Trainer, Mr. Game and Watch, Peach and Daisy, Pac-Man, Joker, Falco, Lucina, and Isabelle. Uh, so I think that Isabelle, for Rosalina and Luma, obviously it's gravitational pull. She can just take all of your, she can just take everything you have and all your projectiles just gravitational pull them. I don't think it's, but she can't really rush you down and punish you. Uh, Even if she's taking all your things, so you could still use your air. And like her aerials are good, are decent, but they're not going to necessarily beat all of your aerials. So it's not like a totally losing matchup. But the gravitational pull does really mess up a lot of it. And then I guess like Chrom and Lucina, just in general, sword characters that are quick enough to get in your face with their disjoints and sort of mess you up, and sort of mess up your mess up your game plan. Same thing with Shulk though. That's a little bit different. I don't really have that. I always lose Shulk 'cause I don't play him play again. I don't see him. I don't play him. I don't really see him very much online or anything. So just a weird character. I think Snake is just like a better version of Banjo in terms of trying to set up a bunch of traps with your projectiles and stuff, and then punishing with aerials and smashes. So just everything Banjo does, I think for like except for maybe even except for maybe recovery, but even then he's good, really good recovery. So everything Banjo does, Snake just does better. So not much you can do about that other than just. I mean, there's something you can do, but it's just hard. You're gonna have to play very well to beat a good Snake because they also know since their game plan is gonna be similar, they're gonna know how to counterplay you. And then I think Sonic, it just depends. Like the other Death Knight, I was playing Sonic and they wiped me the first game, then I was able to beat them the second game. So it's just they're just so fast that they're in your place. What I like Banjo, that's good. I have a tendency when I play with other characters is I'll I'll just always rushing people down and like not thinking. So Banjo you can't do that with. It's impossible. So I think Banjo is really helpful for me to slow the game down and think about what I'm doing and try to think about how I'm controlling neutral and think about uh, think about correctly, even just correctly getting out of combos. I mean, him is terrible at getting comboed, but I used to play Joker, and it was bad because I was always rushing people down like without thinking, and then I was taking damage all the time because the more damage you take, the faster you get arson. So I was just getting a lot of bad habits. So in a way, it's almost like the anti Joker. um, and then it's also I mean I'm learning it, but there's some really fun traps you can set up with a banjo. It's like not like Steve, uh, but it's real. There's some pretty cool stuff you can do with banjo, even even it's not as funny as Steve or as cool as other things. But that's why I like banjo. Uh, but anyway, like so, Sonic was in just always in your face. If Sonic's always in your face, I feel like you might have to. It's not may not be possible to beat him, but if you try, but if you just can avoid, though there is, even though their Sonic is super fast, that when they are, when there is times when they are doing your homing attack and their spin dash that you can get out of the way. Like Banjo is fast enough to get out of the way of that thing, so even uh, and then you can then he's also then if since they're trying to always hit you, you just back up a little bit, you can punish them. It is annoying. It's probably one of the I can't imagine it being a fun matchup to watch, right? Just Banjo versus Sonic. but it's not unwinnable if you take your time and you just try. If the Sonic is letting you get away enough, you can still win. Uh, Yoshi is just really weird to me. I don't really understand that one. Yoshi and Pac-Man are hard. I mean, Pac-Man has a ton of projectiles, but they are pretty predictable. I don't know how. I haven't played. I don't think I've played Pac-Man against Banjo, so I'm not sure which if his projectiles will beat the eggs out. So, um, but yeah, I'm not sure about Yoshi. I think the egg. I don't think Yoshi can put his eggs out fast enough for to stop Banjo's eggs. Oh, maybe more than one of Banjo's eggs is what I'm saying. So, but uh, I'm just not positive about Yoshi. For so for Pokemon Trainer, the like obviously Squirtle is so fast and is like gonna combo you forever. I mean that's true for much any character. But it's just like hard to play against. But then once you get to Ivysaur, it's a little more even, I think. Uh, it's about the same round speed, and you could sort of get back in it. And then as long as you stay away from Charizard, which can be hard, but as long as you stay out of Charizard's range, you can punish them. But I think because it's just so easy, just Squirrel just wins so easily. I think against Banjo. And then if you just get one hit in his Charizard, then Banjo's dead. So, uh, and then for Mr. Game and Watch, that is okay. Just the regular Mr. Game and Watch thing of just up B out of shield and then down B and the bucket makes it really hard to do anything, right? Because you can't really set because Mr. Game Watches are usually just flying all around the stage. You're not going to be able to do any sort of like traps really on them. And then even when they're standing still, if they're not chefing you and then stopping your eggs, then they're just bucketing it and they're going to give you a huge punish. So I think if you're playing a really good Game and Watch, that might be even worse than just being -6. It might feel like impossible. Uh, for Peach, I think that I mean she does have the Toad counter, but I don't think it's that easy. I don't. It's not. That's kind of slow and kind of predictable. And then her overall, she's pretty floaty, so I think Banjo could punish her. I don't think Peach is as a winnable matchup. Actually, I don't know. I've seen like Mystery Game, which would be a harder matchup, but I could see why because she is definitely a top tier character. So I've seen places where it has Falco and Joker. Well, some people, the reason why this is -6 is some people had, I think, Falco and Joker and Isabelle is just like not closer to even, but some people had them like as the worst characters for Banjo to fight against. And it makes sense because like Joker is so fast and get in your face so quickly, and then he has Arsene, so you could if you just try to just Brigal Blast him over and over again, he's just getting Arsene faster and then punishing you quick. And then when he gets Arsene, he can just throw stuff back. That counter gets even hard and even more powerful. So I can understand that being a very hard matchup. And then Falco, same thing, can be get in your face so quickly, so fast, can combo you forever, and has a reflector. So feels like probably one of the worst matchups. And then Isabelle has the pocket. So a lot of people have Isabelle and Villager the same, but it was just enough difference for Villager to be a harder matchup than Isabelle, though. I'm not sure if that's maybe. I guess that's because of Lloyd Rocket makes it a little bit harder. Wait, no, don't they both have Lloyd Rocket? Oh, no. I guess there's Lloyd Rocket probably goes because it goes across the stage rather than the fishing rod. So that's probably why it's a little bit harder. I'm guessing. So, but both of them have pocket. So, and then you can, and even though like you can only pocket one thing at a time, you can basically just keep pocketing Banjo's stuff. So it's very hard. You can't really do your normal setups. So I can see those being here. Okay, and then like going down to losing -7.7 to 1. So Roy, Villager, Min Min, Hero, Inkling, and Wolf. So Roy, the fastest of the sorties, just really in your face all the time. And like so, Banjo is so slow. Like the speed is like one of his main weaknesses. So definitely the fastest sortie is going to be the hardest sortie to fight. Villager, like we said, probably because the pocket is makes it almost impossible to set anything up, and then the Lloyd Rocket going across the stage is also messing it up. Min Min, so it doesn't really matter against Min Min that you have that that you can that Banjo has projectiles because her arms reach across the entire stage, so sort of nullifies almost all of his game plan. And then I think here another reason for Hero, the why Hero is here, the same thing where the hero's hero's specials also take up can go across the entire stage. So and the way that most people would punish that is they'd gut in Hero's face, but Banjo can't really do that. So same thing where if Hero is doing all of his B specials against Banjo's, like Pierce is gonna easily win. Inkling, same thing. Like just the speed, like just the ground speed of Inkling is like so much faster than Banjo's. And then a similar move, like, and I think actually I kind of like Inkling's moves. I feel like Inkling and Banjo's moves are kind of similar. So, but like Inkling is just so much faster. So, same thing of trying to set up with a little bit of projectiles and then get the berry to get it confirm. But and then Inkling is also, I mean, is also kind of short and kind of small, so harder to hit. And then it's just in general kind of like a faster Banjo is what I'm saying. So I don't know if I would put Wolf harder than Falco. Wolf is heavier than Falco and can kill easier, kill faster, but I don't know why we would say that it's a harder matchup than Falco because Banjo is so much or Falco is so much faster. You know, it's easier to get in Banjo's face with Falco, but maybe it's because of the larger beam, the larger blaster beam. I'm not positive. And then going to unwinnable. These matchups is like you just can't. You just I think that like these losing matchups to unwinnable, I think you pretty much you have to switch off of Banjo, and maybe even like actually I might even want to start here, Joker, Falco, Lucina, Isabel, just switch off, and then play another character. But these ones are unwinnable. Like Fox is so fast and has so many combos that he can't get that Banjo can't get out of, and just like and he has a reflector, so there's really not much that Banjo can do against Fox. It feels like an impossible matchup. And then Olimar, because if he throw if all his Pikmin are always going to beat your eggs, so that makes it impossible. Pikachu, like a losing match for pretty much everyone, but his T jolts don't hurt him like they do Pichu, and they're going to basically beat your eggs. They're going to blow up your grenades early. And then he's so fast you can't edge guard him as Banjo. I mean, I don't know who can really edge guard Pikachu, but because he can use quick attack to get on stage, so there's nothing that there's no advantages that Banjo has against them. So pretty much an impossible matchup. And then Greninja, similar, just like so much faster than Banjo, and can kill really early for how light he is, and also has a counter. So if you're if Banjo is trying like can't land any of the eggs or whatever, or any of his projectiles and tries to just hard punish with smash attack or something, that Greninja can just counter and then it's over with. And then Zero Suit Samus uh, has her own projectiles, has paralyzer. It's too fast to really for Banjo to really do anything with. Can get in Banjo's face. Can do just kind of get in Banjo's face, run away out of range over and over again. Can't really edge guard Zero Suit Samus. And then so like the people that like at the top, it's the people that are just that are the one that it's either there can easily be if they can't even though like you can't really edge guard Jigglypuff or Kirby, you could easily just forward air them when they're trying to recover and get an easy kill really early. And then these ones are that are small are winning are they're ones that Banjo can really use his better recovery and better edge guarding to punish. Well, not better edge guarding, or can edge guard them pretty easily. But like these ones, they can't really Banjo can't really do anything in terms of edge guarding these characters. Um, and then the last one, Palutena, just the most impossible matchup. I'm because she also has projectiles. She has a crazy reflector. She can teleport away from you. There's just like pretty much no way to set up Banjo's game plan against her. You can't. You're not gonna get egg ladder combos on her or anything like that. So it's just gonna feel like she's just juggling you the whole time. Um, so like I said, I don't think this one is possible to win unless like they're not winning any of these ones unless your person you're playing is much worse than you. So these like 12, 13, 14, 15 or so matchups, I am gonna get it. I'm gonna find a secondary for I think, and I don't. Yeah, just don't know how. Just on this is definitely unwinnable. This is definitely losing, and this is definitely getting. These ones are definitely getting close to definitely losing. So anyway, I think that's it. Like I said, this isn't my chart. This is my a compilation of pros charts. Um, I wish there were some newer charts out there. They're like nothing from. I don't think anything from this year. Pretty much everyone has dropped Banjo, so even people that are like the Banjo like I don't know what you call it. The Banjo diehards are starting to pick up other characters now too. So I'm not too optimistic about any new Banjo charts or metadata coming out. But I think they're still a fun character, and you can still win with them. But there is just sometimes when it's just not possible. But anyway, thanks for watching. And until next time, take it easy, everybody.